Talking to book people about books and other stuff.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Talking to Book People about books and other stuff, in which I have a conversation not with an author, but with two brilliant musicians, Ben Please and Beth Porter, better known as the Bookshop Band. Now, this is the band that was created out of a conversation at our counter at Mr. B's back in 2010, when I asked Ben, a local musician, whether he had any ideas of how we could get music into our author events, and we hatched a plan that Ben would form a band who would write songs inspired by our authors' books. So for many years they played at Mr. B's at our author events. They still occasionally do, but since then they've gone on to amazing things. They've been commissioned by the V&A, they've been commissioned by publishers. I've been lucky enough to introduce them in all kinds of places, including last year on the stage of the American Booksellers Association Winter Institute in front of 1,000 booksellers and Margaret Atwood at an unfeasibly early hour of the day, and in Colorado on the same trip. They've just preparing their Live in America album, and I'm really keen for you all to have a look and see what they have to say about creativity and being a musician in this terrible lockdown situation. The interview was recorded a couple of days ago, so forgive the immediate wardrobe change, but I hope you enjoy hearing what Ben and Beth have got to say about life in Wigton, Scotland, their current home during lockdown. All right, so Ben and Beth, there you are in Wigtown, I presume. Wigton?
Hi, Nick. Wigtown, Wigton, whatever, where either. Where. It's good.
Scotland way. How's it going? How are you finding lockdown?
It's been all right. We have quite a lot of space around here to get outside, to go for walks and things. Although I've just broken my foot, so the walking is less for me right now. I hurt my other toe trying to jump into a shoe.
Really?
Trying to hop into a shoe. But yeah, we're generally happy. We're okay up here. We feel like we're kind of able to get on with things.
What plans did you have to cut? Because I mean, you were hoping to tour the US, right, this year?
Yeah, we were. We toured last year in January, and we recorded an album. And we thought, what better way to release that than to go to America and release it? And so we kind of instigated various plans to do that, and we got the record delivered and everything, but obviously we can't go to America to tour that now, so we're just we've got on the back burner. I mean, in actual fact, the initial plan was to be touring right now, so in a sense we feel so lucky that got moved, because otherwise we would have spent all year planning it, and then it would have been cut, which would have been a disaster given how much work it takes to set up.
And you'd have laid out a hell of a lot of money as well if it had come a bit later in the process.
Exactly. So we feel quite lucky that didn't quite materialise at the time we thought. But we do need to come up with a plan to get back out there to release things.
And were you going to be touring with other groups and with your own group, Beth, and with other musicians as well?
So last week, or was it the week before, I would have been touring with the Spell Songs, the Lost Words Spell Songs project. So inspired by the Lost Words by Jackie Morris and Robert McFarlane. But sadly we obviously weren't able to do that. But what we did do was to do a few online things. So we did kind of listening through to the record. We set up a Zoom chat with most of the members of the band and listened through to the album and had a good chat about it, and that was really nice. And then I was part of a festival, an online folk festival, which was great. They did a big fundraiser for it, and it had people like Kareem Polwart and Julie Fowlis and Chris Drever and Peggy Seeger throughout a day, and it was such a lovely thing, and it just meant that we were able to earn a bit of money and be part of something that was bigger than just being in our house. And we're really lucky because we can play music together. Some musicians are on their own with no other people to play with, so they're doing other kinds of collaborations, which is also something we're trying to do as well with some other musicians.
I mean, I don't feel I'm very clued into whether the government are doing a half decent job of looking out for people like in your industry.
We're self-employed, so the self-employed thing kicks in, which is great. And there's a couple of, there's probably lots, but a few main sort of funding bodies that are kind of getting funds together to help musicians, and
Musicians Union.
PRS. So there's various things you can apply for, and obviously there are grants and things. But I think one of the things that's kind of obvious is that one of the last things to come back, we can guess at how things go, but gigs and festivals and kind of the thing that keep us and other musicians going, that's going to be one of the last things to come back, and any support is kind of for a few months. But we're having gigs cancelled for the rest of the year, and it's probably hi Molly again. Molly wants Mickey
I
Mouse
might just put something out. You carry on. I'm just going to put something out.
And so I don't know what it will be, whether the support will be there for a whole year. There's a little bit of support for this bump. I'm just going to show you Molly.
Yeah, show us Molly. What's going on?
Go.
Molly has
life at home.
Molly, do you want to say hello to Nick?
Molly just. No, she's watching.
Give us a wave, Molly.
No, so this is one of the challenges of recording at home. There's no babysitter, and actually that's the main thing for our work at the moment is just trying to find some, dreaming of the day when we can get more than an hour, maybe every couple of days, we can write together.
But we do have. We're writing some film music. We're doing potentially another project with Jackie Morris.
Right.
And some other writing stuff and recording and things. So that's stuff that we can do at home. And actually, long term, that's something that we wanted to be doing more of anyway, so that we can work from home or work from wherever we are.
Yeah. So you need to do that writing in the evenings though, because Molly's not going to be well up for that, I imagine.
Evenings tend to be a bit knackered.
Yeah, it's a mixture. We can kind of initiate little bits by ourselves. So what we're tending to do at the moment is have a day. So like I would work for a day, and then we'd maybe meet up in the afternoon for an hour or two.
Yeah.
And then the next day Ben would work for most of the day, and then we'd meet up for an hour or two. And that's kind of how we do. And it seems to be the most productive way, because it means we can come up with ideas. Yeah. Record them and develop them as we kind of get together. And it's kind of way. I mean, it's a slow process, but in a way, no one's in a hurry. No. There's not so many deadlines, so it's kind of all right.
Yeah.
Hey, are you? I've got this here. This is. I mean, this doesn't look. I'm going to show.
You're going to do an unboxing.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm so bad at that. It'll just be pictures. I'm not going to call it that. I am going to take it out of the box.
There we go.
This is what you're talking about. This is what's coming.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky to have this as part of your kind of crowdfunder for it, and these amazing pictures.
There's photos of you in it.
You're in it.
That's me.
Yeah.
So are you pleased with how this has come out? Because it looks stunning. I mean, it just looks beautiful. The liner notes and everything.
Yeah, really, really pleased. We did a Kickstarter just before we left to raise the money to get it pressed. Yeah. And it raised almost twice as much as we intended. So it went from being a single vinyl cover to a gatefold with a booklet with all the images in there, and we foiled the front to make it all shiny and stuff. So we managed to invest a lot more in the actual production. Which
it looks great. It sounds great. It sounds great. And so whatever happens, I guess, even if the timing's not really sort of quite settled down yet, you're going to be probably releasing that during this period, I guess, somehow. I think so.
It just feels like a really nice thing to be able to put out during this time, because it's like it's a live album. So, people can't go to live gigs, and it was very much conceived as something which had all the atmosphere of the concert. So it's got a lot of talking. I haven't tried to sort of put it in any different space. It's very much in the spaces that they were performed in. So I think that might be something that we think it'd be nice to put it out during this time, because
it's a lovely thing to receive, and you tend to hear all the people chatting. There's the bit where you're quizzing people about how many of the first lines they can identify and what have you. I think it works great. So you're doing gigs. It's 8:30 every Friday evening on your Facebook page, on our Facebook page, and on the Facebook pages of various other bookshops around the world. are you enjoying doing them? Are they kind of challenging because you're kind of because people like me keep telling you to dig deep and try random songs that you haven't learned for ages. But apart from that,
I mean, it's a good challenge for us if we have time to revise some of these songs. It's I think we're really enjoying. I think it was a bit weird to start with playing to, not playing to an audience and getting used to just playing in front of the computer and not to.
It must be strange,
I think we're getting used to it.
Comments are great. Like, I mean, it doesn't really work coming in to read them, but we do, and it's lovely, and you can see them popping up. And if I put my glasses on, we can see what's coming through, and that's great. I think if that wasn't there, then it would just be singing to a wall. But it's not. It is much more than that.
And I think given the nature of the whole thing, and maybe like this as well, it doesn't matter if it's a bit informal. It doesn't matter if there's mistakes or things don't quite go to plan. It's just what it is, and people kind of maybe like that because they're getting to see some reality.
I think they love it. I mean, I've been watching all the comments, and we watched it. It's become like a thing already that it happens on a Friday night. It's great. That is an enormous cup. That is, I'm sorry, it's lovely to hear what you're talking about, but look.
My face is quite small. That's what it is.
You should put it in the video description.
Compared to that cup.
Bookshop Band, and they're enormous. Yeah, but we really enjoy them, and we enjoy the challenge of trying to do something we haven't played for ages. They're very much like a normal gig, because it's like you get nervous beforehand, you plug everything in, check it works, practice your set, do the gig, but it has some benefits, is that you don't have to coil and pack everything down afterwards like a normal gig. You can have a drink straight away, or even during the gig.
You'd have to drive anyway. It's quite nice afterwards, because there's a lot of comments that we've missed during the gig. So afterwards, we always go through the messages and comments from people and have a little drink. And it's quite a nice little ritual now that we do. And Molly's been great. She's slept through the whole lot so far.
Amazing. Have you guys learned any new instruments while you've been on lockdown?
No, but I did have a fiddle lesson yesterday, and it was really nice with my friend Sam Sweeney. Awesome. He's a great fiddle player, and he put out a thing saying I'm doing some online lessons. So I said, "Can I have one, please?"
Awesome.
Yeah, nice. And then I'm hosting a fiddle session tonight with a couple of friends. We started some fiddle classes recently, and we just thought we'd get together online and have a little. You can't play together, unfortunately, but we can kind of each of us lead one and then meet the other one, because it's all delayed and everything. So you can't actually play together, but you can at least play along with somebody.
Yeah. One thing I've been doing is I have been getting out the synthesizers. Something I haven't really been able to do, but I've got a couple. So I've been doing some heavy synth tunes late at night.
Really?
Beth did do a cover last week as well.
Yeah, she did. It was stunning. I mean, it was terribly sad background to it, because it was in memory of a friend of your family, right?
Yeah, a guy is called Kenny Young, who he lived in the village where my parents live in Braille, so I've known him pretty much all my life.
Yeah. And
he co-wrote a song called Under the Boardwalk, and he also wrote, I think it was another co-write. I mean, This Is the Captain of Your Ship.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, funny mix of songs, but he was a great guy, and he did a lot of stuff for kind of did a lot of campaigning for environmental stuff. So yeah, it was a sad loss, but he did a lot.
Have you been? I've been asking everyone I've chatted to what they've been reading. Now you have Molly and a lack of time, so I'm wondering how prolific your reading time has been, given everything.
Can I go and run and get my book? And I can run and get it. What?
We have a book group in Wigtown, which I sometimes go to, but I rarely end up finishing the book.
Right.
And I still haven't finished this book, but I'm reading The Crow Road by Ian Banks.
Oh yeah.
For the first time. I've never read it before, so it's.
And that's quite dark, right? I mean, to be honest, I must admit I've never actually read it, but I mean, obviously, it's virtually a classic. I mean, it's very.
Yeah, it's possible it gets darker. I was expecting it to find it a bit more hard going, I suppose, and a bit darker. And I I mean, there's so many layers to it. There's different narrators. There's so many different family kind of situations going on. But it goes back in time to the father of the main kind of guy, and there's so many levels, and it's just so well written. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Well, I finished The Wall by John Lanchester. Yeah. Which was really good. I enjoyed it. It's very bleak. And maybe I think I started it before lockdown, and I finished it as soon as I possibly could. Right. As soon as that started. But I really enjoyed that. But currently I'm reading The Horologicon of Mushrooms, which is called Fungipedia.
Oh, Fungipedia, right.
Yeah. And there's something that's I'm actually on S at the moment. Wow. But yeah, it's great. It's just stuff about mushrooms. In Dumfries and Galloway, there's tons of mushrooms, and I can identify 2, chanterelle and a henny bun. I'm hoping to expand that to 3 by the end.
Molly, do you want to come and say hello to Nick quickly?
Yeah, Molly is watching a very interactive show on.
It sounds like
there's a mob of
Molly, what's going on? Hey, Molly.
Molly has been reading Winnie the Pooh. Well, you've been reading Winnie the Pooh with Molly. And Princesses Don't Pop.
Wow, Princesses Don't Pop. That sounds a funny one. Winnie the Pooh. We should all be reading Winnie the Pooh. Who do you like best in Winnie the Pooh, Molly?
You quite like Tigger at the moment, don't you? But I think that might be more to do with the TV thing. But the wonderful thing about Tigger is Tigger's a wonderful thing. Molly, can you do your best impression to Nick? You go, yeah, you do it?
The last question is, what about music? Is there anything you're listening to at the minute that other people should be listening to, or are there any your either musicians or musicians you admire that are doing great things on the internet that we should be following and what?
I had a listen the other day. I don't know, do you know Tim Burgess, who used to be in is that what he used to be in? And he's doing a listening kind of project thing at the moment where people listen through to a whole album. Okay. And I haven't actually, I've been hearing bits and bobs a bit, but I think on the anniversary of the guy from Frightened Rabbits, I can't remember what his name is, but he sadly died a few years ago, and then I think they're going to listen to that. So I thought I'd start listening to that, and it's so Frightened Rabbit. I haven't listened to much of it before, but I was quite enjoying an album yesterday.
It's quite fun. Like, lots of friends of ours have had albums ready to go out, and they're working out what to do. And a friend of ours, Nuala Honan, is doing some animation at home, which is nice. Like, everyone's doing these little home videos and things to go out. So there's stuff. There's nice things coming out.
There's a lot of creativity out there. It's giving people time, even those who are less creative normally, sort of having a crack at it. People are learning.
Yeah, it's really nice. My brother's doing a song a day, a cover. He's much better at covers. Generally, and he's doing a song a day, and they all have slightly different things. So it'd be like a song with somebody's name in, or a song that meant something particular to you, and he's doing it every day. They've got a baby as well.
I saw they got a baby as well, and he's still doing it.
And I think I've seen some musicians who would love to be doing stuff, but for some reason or another can't do it, or don't feel like they can offer out their best at the moment. So so they're kind of holding back. But then other people are just, all barriers are gone, and they're just giving themselves and
do what they can.
And there's quite a few festivals that have been organised, isolation festivals, lockdown festivals, that you take a bit of organising to get all the musicians together, and festivals that would have happened and didn't.
Right. So and it's that big unknown of, it's one thing, we find it with author events, you sell tickets, you hope people are going to come along, you hope people are going to be interested. On the internet, you don't know whether they're going to be there. I mean, it must be the same for you every week. You turn on and, oh, great, okay, so a few hundred people are actually here and watching this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, more people than would be at our normal gigs.
It's incredible. But it is difficult because there's no, if they don't come, there's no way of knowing, and it's even more clever. Yeah.
No, but we found it really nice to do, and you're reaching new audiences, which is great. Like lots of people haven't seen us before and just sort of spotted something happening and intrigued by it. And we're trying to get more and more bookshops around for anywhere really to cross post it, because then it kind of, well, we're partly doing it so we can keep our fingers busy and do something, but also we just thought it might be nice online content for some of these places that want to engage their people.
No, exactly, and especially because you've created it. You're taking care of all the technical bit, so it is just it's passing on something really great and enjoyable to our customers. So it's fantastic.
Also, you'll maybe be cross-posting by thousands of bookshops by the end of it, and then go playing to 20 people.
That'd be great.
One more thing that we should maybe mention is we got some funding to do a children's album.
Oh, brilliant! Great.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, how have you got choice over what books to read, or is that being dictated?
A bit of both. It's kind of Scotland related.
Okay.
It's a program called Spotlit that is basically the kind of northern, what do they call it? Not Northern Hemisphere, but it's the so it's like Finland and Northern Ireland and basically kind of Scandinavia and Scotland, I suppose.
Cold places that can be cold.
Yes.
And a place that's quite close to us is somewhere called in Dumfries, is called Mowbray.
Okay.
And that's where J.M. Barrie lived.
Right.
Is it where he was born?
Where he grew up.
Where he grew up. Yeah. And so, one big thing, I suppose, is Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of playing off that, want to have a bit of a thread of Scottish or Scottish related authors.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I guess we're going to use it as an opportunity to kind of tell a story about children's literature in Scotland.
Awesome.
That's as loose as it is.
Yeah, but it's great because we haven't done that many children's authors before, so
well, they're quicker to read for one thing.
Yes,
gives you more time to write.
Unless someone asks for Harry Potter.
Yeah. Oh, they might. I mean, Scottish literature.
Yeah. I'll send her an email just to see if.
Send her an email. I wouldn't say no to that if that opportunity is there. Awesome. Well, listen, thanks for spending time chatting to me. I'm looking forward already to the next gig and to sending various snipey remarks for you to follow up on after the gig whilst you're drinking.
I've got a great shirt.
You got a great shirt. Yeah, the shirt is basically one of the key highlights of the your shirt collection. I don't know how many more you got in there, but you're going to have to keep.
I'm going to have to keep digging.
Oh yeah, you've probably got some great ones at the back of the cupboard.
Yeah, I'll probably finish off with like really tight ones that I wore when I was 17. Yeah.
Well,
thanks. Lovely to chat to you. And
you.
Please.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nick.
Yeah, and see you next Friday.
See you next Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. See you there.
Bye.
Please note, no book people were harmed in the making of this film, though some were technologically challenged. All books are available from www.mrbeesemporium.com.